welcome to Goblins and Aliens. Today I'm going to speed paint some Krieg.
It's not often that you can use your Warhammer models as proxies in other games so perfectly as the Krieg fit into Trench Crusade. Their uniform is a mix of real-world military and a dash of Grimdark spice, making them an excellent starting point for kit bashing, with minimum conversion required. The skirmish game Trench Crusade actively encourages kit bashing and welcomes you to build your own preferred aesthetic to its nightmare-fueled gothic landscape. But this is a speed painting video, not a kit bashing video, though I will alter the models ever so slightly, removing any Warhammer 40k symbols and adding a bit of battle damage. None of my colour choices are lore accurate to 40k or Trench Crusade, just what I think looks neat and could work for both systems. Let's say I'm working with the rule of cool. Remember, these are your models. You don't have to be 100% rigid with the suggested box art. If you do want to follow along, I'll leave a list of paints in the description. If you have any alternatives to these colours, pop them in the comments section. You might offer up someone's new favourite paint. Quite often the reason you want to speed paint is to get your army or warband tabletop ready to start playing your chosen game. But speed painting comes with choices and sacrifices. First, you must choose what level of standard you are comfortable with. Are you going to paint the model fully? Are you simply going to slap chop your way to the finish line? When you've made your key choices, you should stick to them. That's not saying that at any moment you completely change your mind and want a different approach to your model painting. The sacrifices are the level of detail and techniques that you usually aim for. For me, I drop my preferred glazing and stippling. Then I sacrifice the numbers of layers between each colour. The benefits of these decisions are that you'll be economic with your time. Ask and answer where to put highlights quicker. Remove the pressure of trying to achieve silky smooth blends. I'm sacrificing the amount of time I like to spend at my hobby desk, leaving my pursuit of non-metallic metals to the side, and being as cutthroat with the highlights as possible. No edge highlights today. I'm treating this mini project as an exercise in control, pushing myself out of my comfort zone. Starting with a black primer will help hide any mistakes or unpainted sections. The temptation is to go for a zenithal prime for a bit of variation, but the brighter tones can point out any mispainted parts. With a darker primer, you will need to keep a thicker paint consistency to limit how many brushstrokes each element requires. Working in an assembly line or batch painting will help pick up momentum. When you paint one layer, move on to the next model, then the next until you come back around and the paint has dried, ready for the next layer. Just because you are speed painting doesn't mean you can ignore certain factors like drying times. Keeping a uniform colour scheme across the models will also help speed things up. It will remove the time you spend thinking about what colour comes next. With speed in mind, it doesn't require you to rush. Remember the inside-out painting mentality. Start on the inner parts of the model and work your way to the exterior. Do your best to be as neat and tidy as possible. The overall finish will benefit from this careful mindset. For the main elements, I tried to stick to a 3-step progression of colour. If you have more time, you could mix in between each of these colours, but if time is of the essence, 3 is plenty. For the light placement, I'm using the sun as the main source of light. Using this coat as an example, the bottom will get a deep shade, 1 step up, and at most, maybe a mid-tone. With the arms and collars, we'll pass these steps up to the highlights. Boots and other uninteresting elements will get a 2-tone approach. As I stated, I'm not going to try non-metallic metal in favour of using metallic paints. I've applied these now so I can carry on with other parts of the model, giving the metallic paint plenty of time to dry before adding the shade wash. With your speed painting projects, it is always good to lean into the tools you have at hand. For these Krieg, I'm going for metallic paint with a shade wash. This will do most of the heavy lifting of the colour scheme. And yes, I'm a straight out of the pot kind of guy. This is where you'll need to pay a bit more attention. The face, or in my case here, the skull gas mask. Naturally, the first thing we look at when we lift a model is the face. You don't want to miss out on the satisfaction of your buddy or relative's praise when they say, "But how did you paint the face? It's so small." Try to aim for a brighter finish. This will not only grab the eye's consideration, but it will obscure the fact that this is a speed painted model. In the interest of not spoiling any of the previous steps, slow down to a snail pace to paint the eyes. Like I said, there is no need to rush, you will only make mistakes quicker. For the base, I've decided to keep it simple. Brown paint with a gutsy portion of Agrax Earthshade. It'll leave a glossy, wet appearance. This is the only step where I dash the brush about. I still aim away from the already painted model. If you do catch any of the lower parts, it can look a wee bit like a mud splatter. Just give it a quick wipe with your thumb to calm the saturation. By now, the metallics would have dried enough to apply the shade wash. For this project, I've mixed Agrax Earthshade and Nun Oil. This gives a grimy feel without spending extra pennies on the more advanced weathering paints. Where possible, try not to flood the model with wash. It'll only ruin the effect and will take ages for you to reapply the original metallics due to the drying times. With the models done, I add a few grass tufts and call it a day. You can always return at a later date to improve on your work. If that's something you guys would like to see me cover, drop a message in the comments. This speed painting project took me a little under 3 hours to get these 5 guys painted. Not the burger brand. I enjoy doing it, though I much prefer spending a lot more time and effort on these little guys. It's a bit of a shame because I spent a bit of effort in removing the Warhammer logos and putting some battle damage on there. I can imagine these guys picking up their armor off their fallen comrades after they've been shot dead, hence the trench look. But other than that, they're basic, they're tabletop ready, and you can start playing them in Warhammer 40k or Trench Crusade as soon as you like. So until the next video, thank you for watching and take care.